Shopping for vintage toys at home on your mobile device has to be more popular now than ever, considering all that's going on in the world in 2020. There's no denying the convenience eBay provides us collectors with, but are you using it to its full potential? Many folks outside of the toy collecting community looking in assume people cash their paycheck, buy toys, and then place them on a shelf. Not the case for many of us. Every toy has an expense, and for me personally, that expense can't dig into funds that support my family. It's a hobby after all, but more importantly, it's a self-propelled hobby. Obviously, I'm talking about both buying and selling. I've talked with some collectors over the years who don't really mess with the latter, so hopefully I can get some more people interested. Finding vintage toys on eBay is certainly pretty easy in most cases, but I tend to enjoy being more thrifty and patient. Now, it's always about what you're interested in collecting, of course, but the more knowledge you can acquire about other toy lines is something you should focus on. Take for example the fact that I was in the market for a double demon figure from the Mighty Max toy line. It's a figure I had when I was a kid and I wanted to have it again. I already had its weapon, so I just wanted the figure by itself. Now, it does turn into a small playset with tiny pieces and figures, but I'm displaying it just as a figure, so I'm essentially looking for an empty husk. So I searched it in eBay, and we got a bunch of listings. The lowest price I'm seeing is the $10, plus shipping and taxes brings it to about $13 to $14. Now, I could pay it, and that's the end of it. Every time I look at that figure, I can think there's $14 of my money. For some people, that's completely fine, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's an easy solution. You want the figure, so buy the figure. I prefer not to do that. In this situation, I took some time, sifted through a ton of random vintage figure lots, and I ended up getting super lucky. Spotted this guy in this random assortment of figures for $8 and change, and the seller had a best offer option on, so I took advantage of that and submitted a $6 offer, and the seller accepted. So at that moment, the entire lot cost about $3 to $4 less than the lowest listing on eBay for the figure I was looking for just by itself. Awesome. I can see people stopping there and being completely satisfied with that, and there would definitely be nothing wrong with that satisfaction. But if you're a seller like me, you're thinking, I have the figure I want, as well as 5 additional figures. Some of these guys I know, and there's some I don't, so it's time for some research. Admittedly, you probably want to do as much research as possible on this stuff before you buy. In this case, the deal was too good, so I just pulled the trigger. Up first, we have a bendy Judge Doom figure from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He originally came with his cane and a crow companion figure, but that stuff's obviously absent. Still cool though. He's not a real high dollar figure, but I think somebody would pay $3 for it. Next, we have a 1995 Predacon figure from the Beast Wars Transformers line. This is actually Megatron as a crocodile. Looks like it has all its pieces, apart from the tail. That's unfortunate, but it's still a functional figure, and it looks nice when it's transformed. I'm sure there's someone out there who has the tail, or possibly their figure broke in some way. That person, I'm sure, would be happy to pay $4 to $5 for this guy. Next up, we have a Star Wars Count Dooku figure from 2008. This guy originally came with some accessories in the form of a lightsaber and interchangeable hands. So technically, this guy does still have some accessories, and that could very well be the reason someone might pay $4 to $5 for him. I had no idea what the other figures were. This guy obviously looked exactly like Daniel Craig, so I was just searching for James Bond figures. Through further research though, I figured out he's from a 2007 fantasy film called The Golden Compass. Not my genre, so I'd never seen the film. Come to find out, there aren't really any current listings on eBay to speak of. A completed listing sold for $25, but it looks like it came with some of his accessories. Given that my figure's pretty incomplete, but he's not exactly common on eBay, I'd be comfortable listing him in the $15 range with a best offer option. Really nice find. Last, we have some kind of robot figure that appears to be missing pieces. Through some research, I figured out this guy's from a line called Bakugan, dated 2010. I discovered one listing on eBay for $20, and the seller claims it's rare, so that's a good sign. They also claim to be the only listing for this figure in the world currently. I like reading that, even though it may not be completely true. I have no idea. Now, again, my figure's missing these secondary arms, but if it's that rare, I'm sure someone out there would be happy to pay $8 for it. In total, we're probably looking at $36 in profit. I'd shave that down a bit though after you consider eBay fees, shipping materials, or reduced offers. I think a fair number lands around the $22, $24 mark. Now looking at that, it's nothing crazy and it may not be worth some people's time, and that's completely fine. I look at it as I now have the figure I want, and I'm left with no guilt spending money on my toy collection. Just took some time for research and creating listings on eBay. So for any collectors out there that don't currently sell anything, this could potentially be a fun and interesting way to collect the things you enjoy, or simply make some money. Maybe try buying a small lot of figures for cheap and just seeing what you can do. I might put some future videos together about my dealings on eBay, among other things, but I'd love to hear some of your searching or listing strategies. What do you search for? Do you sell or just buy? Very curious to hear from you. If you like this eBay focused video, please consider subscribing to the channel and also be sure to check out our podcast. Just search Toy Talk Guys in your podcast app of choice or click on one of our links in the video description below. Thanks for watching.